Recording in
on the
progress.
51 Main Street project on October 6th at 7, which I know you might have some meeting tentatively on your calendar, but I think that's the date that worked for the architect in the group. So hopefully you won't have to meet and you can come to that if you choose to.
Anybody else? Okay, so we'll go on to our 3:05 p.m. agenda item, which is the reserve fund transfer. Dan, are you speaking to that, or is Andrea?
Andrea.
Oh, okay. So yes, we are asking for a reserve fund transfer of $16,800 to engage the executive search committee to help us find a town manager. I won't say to not replace, but to follow in Jody's footsteps. As I'm sure you can imagine, we did not put this in the budget, so we don't have funds. Just as for background for you folks, we went out with a request for a proposal. We got 6 replies. One of them was unacceptable, just did not even meet the minimum requirements of the request. 3 of them came from out of state, and that presented some issues for us. So we were left with 2 that we felt met the criteria. And so Scott Hazelton and I were designated by the select board to review the applications and bring them forward to the select board with our recommendation. We interviewed the 2 finalist candidates earlier this week, and it was Scott and my recommendation that we hire Municipal Resources, Inc. I will tell, since you are the Fincom, I will tell the Fincom that initially their bid was $18,800. I spoke with their executive director and asked him if he could sharpen his pencil, which he did. And so we are here today to ask for the $16,800 so that we can sign the contract with MRI and start this process going. So happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thanks. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have one.
Sure, go ahead, Dennis.
Andrea, can you explain to me what precisely services they will provide? Like now you and Scott have already interviewed these people. What services they will provide in addition to what you've already done?
Sure. So the first thing that they're going to do, Dennis, is after they're retained is they will meet with the individual members of the select board, and they will also meet with community leaders, and they will develop a brochure basically of the community that is, basically serves as the advertisement for us in terms of looking for a new town manager. They will circulate that among, their contacts as well as various organizations in the state. We question them about their contacts and ability to engage in a search that would encourage a diversification of candidates. And they've indicated that that's certainly, they've got contacts there, and that's certainly part of their search. So that would be the first thing, is that they will put together this brochure. Then they will advertise on behalf of us using their contacts. They will gather the resumes for us, and then they will initially screen them and go through an initial cut for us, so that we aren't inundated with 50 resumes, half of which we wouldn't consider anyway. So they would do that for us, and then they forward to the search committee that's been established resumes for us to consider, and then they help walk us through the process of scheduling interviews with folks who we want to schedule interviews with, checking references when we get to that, helping us with the interviews, helping us formulate questions for the interviewees, and really seeing us all the way through to the end of the process. One of the things that Scott and I particularly liked about them was as part of their screening process, with the help of the search committee and the select board, they will put together a series of 3 to 5 questions for the candidates to answer in writing as part of the whole application process. So we'll also in that way get samples, writing samples from these
Good.
folks, as well as
Good.
an indication of what their thought process is. So that's what, in a nutshell, Dennis, or a long nutshell, that's what they'll offer for us.
No, that was very comprehensive. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Ingrid?
What other communities have they recently done a search for in Massachusetts?
Oh, I should have brought their application with me. Jody might have it, but they've, let me see. Like 20 over the last 3 to 4 years, I think it's been at least, 10 to 15, maybe more communities. But Jody, if you have their application in front of you, can you answer that? But you have to unmute yourself first.
I was gonna say, this is a test if you could read my lips. So they have hired recently for Dartmouth, Dighton, Hanson, Plainville, Acton, Bedford, Berlin, Canton, Somerset, Danvers, Hadley, Hanover, Lexington, North Andover, Wenham, Westboro, Lakeville, and Blackstone.
Very good, very good, very
Great,
good.
thanks.
It's good.
The other thing that Scott and I liked about this is they are just finishing up 2 or 3 searches that will be coming to a conclusion. And so they can devote their full attention to Westford now. And given the fact that we're on a fairly tight timeline, Scott and I really appreciated that. The other finalist has 5 or 6 searches going on right now as well. And so we wondered just how much attention we'd get and how responsive they'd be.
Anybody else have anything? Tom?
Yeah, I'm just, I'm wondering if, and I've experienced some of these search committees for fire chiefs and things like that. But I'm wondering, given the fact that we continue to say that we're in tough financial climate and whatnot, if this is the best use of those funds. I think the advertising, everyone that's kind of in this type of position is connected to the MMA and would hear about the position. And actually, I would say a lot of towns probably already know that we're going to be looking to fill the town manager position. So I just have concerns of whether or not it's the best use of that amount of funds when we do have a full search committee that I would guess is probably very well versed in the type of information that we want to be able to get out of applicants. So that's my only concern.
So I'll just simply respond to say that, yes, we think it's a very good use of the town funds, that it's more than just advertising, and that, we do need, the search committee is volunteers, and, we need somebody with professional experience to help us recruit a good town manager for Westford. I agree with you, Tom. We're in all of where both of the finalists said, we're a well-respected community. We probably will get very good candidates, but I think having the expertise of somebody who of a firm that does this is important to us. Certainly the school committee did it when they hired their recent superintendent, and I will tell you that we did use a search committee when we hired Jody back in 2008, although this is not the same search committee that we used back in 2008.
I think she means search firm.
I'm sorry, search firm.
And you did
Sorry.
use the search committee, but they also use the search firm, so.
Yes.
Anybody else? Heather?
I was just gonna agree with Tom. I kind of wondered that myself. I know when you watch the local news, you see town managers and you kind of recognize them from where they were before. So I wondered if you'd had any, you didn't advertise at all yet then, right?
No.
Okay. So I just agree with him, but that doesn't mean I won't support it.
Dennis, did you have something else?
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in support of it. I think that given today's environment, and particularly the contentious nature of sometimes these hiring processes, I think it's good to have a well-established firm that understands the employment rules and laws. Simply, if nothing else, than a hedge against potential litigation down the line. So I think if you allow, if you just keep it with a strictly volunteer basis, I'm not saying that the volunteers aren't capable, but there are a lot of details that that if you're not on this thing all the time, developments in personnel management law and things like that, it's good to have somebody there that you're paying for to advise you. So I would support the idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think that having some experts involved is critical, particularly if you want to throw a wide net for a diverse applicant pool.
I would agree with that as well. Tom, did you have something else?
Yeah, just real quick. We do have an HR director too, who I would assume is staying up on those. But again, I'm not saying I won't support it. It's just I would be remiss in not raising the concern of that sum of money that could go to any number of other things as well. So,
Okay. Does anyone have anything else? Heather? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, quickly. Is that the final and only amount due, or would there be additional due based on compensation?
No, that's the final amount, Heather.
Okay.
And just to add, if for some reason, the manager, who they recommended and we tried to hire, it didn't work out, I believe if it's within 12 months, they'll actually help us with a search again without charging us more.
That's a good deal.
That's good to know. If there's nothing else, anybody, I just quickly, Dan, what's our Fincom reserve balance right now?
So the current balance is 104,535.
Okay. Jody?
Yes, and we are planning to reimburse the finance committee at the upcoming town meeting. So you will get this money back in your reserve.
Okay, good to know.
Yep.
If there's nothing else, I'll call for a motion.
So moved. I'll move that we approve the expenditure of the amount $16,800 for the to hire a consultant regarding the town manager search and hiring process.
Second,
Thank you, and I'll take a roll call. Heather?
Yes.
Hari?
Yes.
Ingrid?
yes,
Tom?
yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Beth?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. So that's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated.
Good luck.
One step closer, Jody.
Thanks.
What did you say? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said one step closer.
Showing you no mercy today, Jody.
Judy, all right. Can I talk about one more quick thing and then I'm gonna get off your meeting?
Sure.
So I did want to mention to the finance committee that Dan and I analyzed the free cash situation recently because we're expecting to be certified at 6.5 million, and it's not on your agenda, so we can talk about it at a later date, but and we do have a graph and spreadsheet analysis, but we are going to recommend that the motion in the 51 main article include $1 million of free cash to offset the borrowing. And we're in a very good position with free cash, and it's not our position to stockpile that. It is consistent with what we did when we built the fire station. It would save the taxpayers $420,000 over the life of the loan. So we can talk about it when we get to the article discussion, but I at least don't want you to hear it from someone else or somewhere else that we did put that in.
Thanks, Jody. Beth, did you have a question or comment on that?
I was just wondering, is the library and both 51 Main going to be on the same ballot and the same town meeting?
Yes.
Go ahead, Jody. Do you have anything else to add to that?
Well, I will just say, yes, both articles are in the warrant. And actually, the moderator has asked me to put the dollar amounts in the warrant, which is not necessarily what we do every time. But we can. It's just if the figure changes, then that might make it difficult to change the article. But I'm assured we will have the library final number before the select board vote and sign the warrant next meeting on the 27th. And we do have the number on 51 Main. So that will be printed in the warrant. It is on the ballot, which the select board approved the language at their last meeting. And they will approve the election warrant at the next meeting. So we have those two questions separate, and then we have the Indigenous Peoples Day question as a third. I'm sorry, I'm alone here, but and then just excuse me one second. Do you need me? Oh, okay, I'll be with you after this meeting. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I got one out sick today and the other's at a doctor's appointment, so it's me. But the other thing is there's been a lot of questions like, what if it doesn't pass at town meeting? Does it still go on the ballot? Yes, it does. It's on the ballot. So what would happen if one of those don't pass at town meeting? They go to the ballot. If they do pass at the ballot, then the select board can call another town meeting to reconsider it. But if it passes at town meeting and one of them or both of them fail at the ballot, then we're done. So I hope that helps explain that.
Dennis?
Yeah, I have maybe I talked to Andrea and Jody here on this. I have a question about this going to the ballot on these two issues. I raised the other issue at another meeting, but are the selectmen authorized to be able to put a matter like a financial matter on a ballot and not get the approval of the town meeting to do that? I'm a little concerned and interested in what that legal requirements are on that.
You want me to answer, Andrea?
Oh,
Yes.
please.
Yes, this is the process. If you have a debt exclusion, then you take it to town meeting. Well, you can actually go in either order, but you take it to town meeting and then to the ballot usually. And as I said, if it fails a town meeting but passes at the ballot, then the select board can call another town meeting to reconsider it. But yes,
Okay.
that is the process.
So it is the town meeting that has the authority to make that decision whether it goes out or not, right?
No,
No?
no, the town meeting does not give the select board have the authority to put a question on the ballot, period. Okay? Town meeting is the source of appropriating the funds, right? But if it's a debt exclusion, then it also requires a ballot vote in the affirmative. So
So Dennis, both town meeting and the ballot have to pass, okay? It's, if either one of them fails, then it doesn't pass, okay?
well, right.
Except that you can, if it fails at town meeting but passes at the ballot, we can go back to town meeting for reconsideration.
Okay, I got it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm glad you didn't ask me about the other question because I don't want to talk about that.
No, we've already had that one discussion.
I just have a quick question on those two, on 51 Main and the library. I want to make sure that FinCom has all of the information before we have to take a position. And I'm just a little concerned about the timing of everything. We have a tentative meeting for September 29th, but Jody, you had said that the 51 Main, community meeting would be on October 6th.
Yeah.
When is the select board taking their positions on the warrant?
Well, they'll probably begin at the next meeting on the 27th, and then they will have their final votes on the 13th. But they typically obviously wait for finance committee
Yeah,
on financials.
Right.
So I guess, if you're not meeting till the 29th, then we would move the financials till the 13th.
Right. I'm just, Dan and I will talk about this, but we can talk about this, but I'm almost, I think October 7th was another possible meeting date for us. And so I'm sort of thinking maybe we move to that just so that we can listen to the October 6th 51 Main information. But we can discuss, Dan and I can figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, we have the financial presentation, which I did share with you all. We did tweak it recently with adding the 1 million from free cash. But we have not sent that out yet because I at least wanted to tell the select board, which I did Tuesday night. And so now and that's my recommendation. I mean, you all can decide you don't like that, but that's what I'm recommending.
Right.
So.
Do we have updated financials after the sustainability piece was investigated?
What? Oh, yes.
Like after the analysis and everything.
Yep, that's in it. Yep. I mean,
Okay,
Dan can send you that if you don't have it, but yeah.
I may have, but I may have missed it too.
We have the final, it's in the motions document too, if he's sharing that with you. But yeah, we have that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, well, I'm gonna leave.
Thank you all.
I got people
What's
out
the
in my
date of the
office.
special, what's the date of the fall town meeting?
October 17th,
17th.
Thank you.
7 p.m. Westford Academy.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
right.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Good to
Bye,
see you.
everyone. Thank you. Good to
Bye.
see you.
Thanks. Okay, so let's move on to our 320 agenda item, which is the approval of minutes. Does anybody have any comments, or can we go to approving those? Heather?
Dan, did you get my note that I sent you about the minutes? I just don't remember seeing a reply, so I wanted to make sure.
I wrote you back. I couldn't tell what you were talking about in the minutes. So if you have an edit, that'd be great. I didn't know if they were capital or Fincom that you're talking about.
Oh. I don't know either now. Woo.
I thought it was capital.
Maybe it was. Let me just look at my email real quick.
Okay, and I did notice a spelling error in the first paragraph on page 2 for replenishment, so I did make a friendly correction on that.
Oh, it was capital. I'm sorry, Dan.
Okay, I'll talk to you after if you want.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from July 21st, 2022?
So moved.
Second. I think that was Hari. And we'll take a roll call. Heather?
Yes.
Hari?
Yes.
Ingrid?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dennis?
I'm going to abstain. I haven't had a chance to read them, so I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Beth?
Abstain. I don't think I attended that meeting.
Okay, I'm a yes. Is Jake still here, or did we lose him?
I think he's gone, right?
I think
We
he's
lost
gone.
him.
Okay. I think we're still good though, so that passes. Okay, and on to the next, the FY23 Finance Committee timeline.
FY23 times.
Dan, do you want to, can you bring that up?
Yep, I can pull that up.
Thank you. I think this pretty much follows what we normally do. Well, haven't done in the last, 2 years, but we're back to a March town meeting.
So we have the scheduled meeting on September 29th, which we had emailed about.
Yep.
And there's, I think 8 financial articles. So nothing too overwhelming, but the 2 big articles are on there as well. So
Yeah.
Jody just mentioned that they're trying to meet on October 6th to give a townwide sort of presentation on that. I did originally have October 7th in this, which is a Friday, the Friday of Columbus Day weekend, which I'm sure nobody wants to meet for that. So I'm wondering if we could schedule a meeting after the presentation, if that would work, or if we could, I know the select board's meeting on Tuesday night, if you want to meet with them, or if we have all the information we need by the 29th, and that the October 6th meeting might be more of just to make the public aware. So we should have the library estimates in time for the 29th, is what I'm hearing.
I guess, I mean, I would like to hear something from, like, for both of those articles. So either from Permanent Town Building or somebody. And if it has to be a like a town-wide meeting, that might work too. I don't want to go into I don't personally feel comfortable yet going in on the 29th to vote on either of those. I haven't seen anything, certainly not in the library, because I don't think it's finalized, but even on 51 Main, I'd like to get another recap just because it's been so long. I want to make sure that we all understand exactly what's going on. So Tom, do you have other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was just wondering if maybe we could have a presentation given on the 29th also to Finance Committee. The idea of giving more people an opportunity to hear it. And, they may be wanting the 6th to be the all town, but that's one day. If we can do it another day also, I don't think it would be a hurtful thing.
That's actually a good idea too. Dan, can you check on that to see if that would be possible? Because then we could do something on the 29th.
Sure.
Keep with this calendar.
Yeah, I can reach out to Jody and Tom Hannah, and then also to Ellen to see if they'll be ready to go with their figures and presentation.
And if that's the case, I would like somebody from CEASC, from Clean Energy, just to at least speak on their parts, because both of those projects definitely have sustainability pieces in there. If they, they could add their comments.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Okay. And then before the meeting started, Dan and I had also talked about, or maybe it was in the beginning, we'll get an FY22 recap on the 29th also. Anybody have anything else on this timeline? Does it look pretty good?
Another year check clucking away here.
So the budget presentation, which will be Jody's last meeting with us, will be scheduled for December 13th, and the budget hearings will take place starting on January 12th. We have 4 of them scheduled here every week because we're on a truncated timeline. So just to make the March town meeting date.
I have a quick question.
Sure, go ahead, Ingrid.
Why are we back to March? Town meeting?
It's the default town meeting date, and the select board.
Okay,
Yeah, it's up to them to decide the day if they want to move it.
got it. Okay.
Okay. There's anything else on this? I mean, we can always edit this as it goes if things change. Okay. So let's move on to our committee liaison assignments. So some of these are voting positions and some of them aren't. I just wanted to kind of go over, who's assigned to what, because I think we have a couple of openings. So for capital planning, we still have Heather as the primary. I'm the alternate. Town and School Safety Task Force is Dennis. I'll skip to the town manager search committee because that's a voting position, and Ingrid is doing that. And the health insurance trust was Jeff. I took over for him, so I'm in that role now. The school committee, we had a sort of an informal, and I believe Beth had taken that role at one of our previous meetings. Beth, do you want to continue?
Sure. I mean, that's just like attending, keeping track of what's happening, right?
Just kind of
'Cause I
keeping up.
think someone else did the finance book for, I think Hari, right, did the school
Correct. So
finance book, so.
if that still works for you two, do you want to, well, we can talk about the book later, I guess, but Beth, if you want to
Okay,
be our eyes and ears on the school committee.
okay, I'll keep it up.
finances. Okay. Permanent Town Building Committee, I think, let's see, who was that?
Leader was doing
I think that may have been Jeff as well. Does anyone want to take that? Don't jump at once. Really just an informal, just kind of watching the meetings just to see if anything is coming up.
When do they normally meet? Do you know?
I think it's Monday evenings at like 6:30, I want to say.
I could probably do that.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Community preservation. Oh, I think that was Jeff also.
I can take that.
Hari,
When do
thank
they
you.
meet? When do they meet?
That's kind of an as needed basis, correct, Dan?
Yeah, so the applications will be due in January, then they'll have 2 or 3 meetings to review applications and make recommendations. That's about it.
Okay.
Okay. And this is, this is somewhat informal, just so that we have somebody on there kind of keeping.
No voting portion, right? It's just observation.
Right, exactly. No voting. And then clean energy, I think we have Jake. I'll talk to him later and see if he just wants to continue unless somebody's itching to take that. I'm not seeing it. Okay, so that's fine. So I'll talk to Jake. So I think that covers everything. Anybody have anything else before we adjourn?
No.
All right.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. I think we can just wave off this one. I don't think we need to go through. All right.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.